Welcome to the Cinema Snarks podcast. I'm Larry,
And I'm Ren.
and we are going to tell you how we really feel. And today, we're telling you how we really feel about the 2022 Academy Award nominations. So, we're recording this on the night of Tuesday, the 8th. Bright and early this morning, the Academy of Motion Pictures announced their nominees for the Oscars this year. Ren, I assume you looked them up a little bit later in the morning.
I did because I sleep a lot later than
I mean, I usually
most
would
people.
too, but I did a little live stream bright and early this morning to react to them live. Fun times, except it's insanely early, especially like for California.
I would say, aren't they mostly even behind us here in Mountain Time?
They announced these at approximately 5 in the morning in LA, and I don't understand why still to this day. It's a very early time frame. I mean, I guess maybe they want to get like the New York Times like type of, like the East Coast news cycle out in time. I don't know. It's just like nobody wants to be up this damn early to watch. We love you, Tracy Ellis Ross, and we love you, Leslie Jordan, but nobody wants to be up that early for all of that. But
just do it in the evening when everybody's awake. That's another option there. Does it have to be first thing in the morning? Is that a requirement?
They just want everyone to like tailspin all day long. They want to dominate that full day.
I guess, right? I'm like, they're also like they're movie people. As far as I know, they don't tend to be up super early voluntarily. I don't know any actors who are like, yes, I absolutely want to wake up at 7 a.m. No question, no matter what. I mean, there's a few of them that do, but they usually have like a day job that makes them get up that early. But, whatever.
Yeah. So basically what we're doing today, we're giving you our snarky takes on these Oscar nominees. We're going to just go category by category, basically. We'll let you know who is nominated and give our thoughts if we have any in-depth thoughts on them.
Real quick, Larry, have you seen all of the Best Picture nominees?
I have not. I am missing one.
Which one?
Drive My Car is the one I have not yet
Which is a little harder to access. But
so we do have it here. We have it at our Denver film hub, if you will. It has been playing it. So it's also 3 hours long. It's a 3-hour long international drama.
Great.
So it's been a little, I have to admit it. I know film snobs hate to hear stuff like this, but it takes a little bit of like, I have to work myself up. I have to, you know what I mean?
Why I still haven't seen Schindler's List is I know that is like a whole thing. And I'm just have not been prepared to sit and like do that. So I get it. It's a lot.
We'll kick this off with probably the most quote unquote populous category here at the bottom with Best Visual Effects. And the nominees for this category were Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Do you have any strong feelings, Ren? Because I do.
I don't really know why I don't have any really strong feelings, so why don't you go ahead right away?
So right away, I don't think Free Guy should be here. It was fun. It looks okay, but it looks very CG mostly. And some of the CG is not good. Like Ryan Reynolds' head on that thing, if you pause it at any time.
Not good. So it's okay. That was a choice. I would buy that. But I mean, are they awarding based on quantity?
That should be quality. So I really was hoping, based off of the short list, that Godzilla vs. Kong would take Free Guy's spot. I just think the textures and the looks of them are much better, and it has just as much.
Godzilla vs. Kong was fun,
and the CG was really good.
Did Mortal Kombat come out in 2021?
It did.
That also had excellent visual effects. Sorry, okay,
then,
so real quick.
My other one, sorry,
is that go ahead.
We have 2 Marvel movies in here. Eternals had better visual effects than both Shang-Chi and Spider-Man. I'm sorry. I just need to say it. In pure visual effects, the third act of Spider-Man is so dark and like muddled in its visual effects that I'm like, what's going on? And then Shang-Chi, once they start getting into that really fantasy stuff, it's very hit or miss on those visual effects. The film itself for Eternals, I don't think really missed. It's only that freaking little like Pip dude in the post credit is like the only like quantifiably like straight up bad CGI. I don't know. I just was like, okay. Also, I would have liked to see the Green Knight get in for a non-blockbuster.
It absolutely should have been on the cinematography, just period.
We'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there. First of all, though, okay, before we move it forward much more, I would like to give our general hot take on the Oscars. So first of all, the Oscars are stupid. They're totally stupid. They're also really great. So this is where we have to start from, is right, because you know, why do we even care about the Oscars? Why do we even want to talk about the Oscars if it's stupid? And the big problem we have is that at the end of the day, the people who vote for the Oscars are people who don't know what they're talking about, or they're people who have these very, very deeply skewed perspectives on what is a good film that is not necessarily in touch with what general audiences enjoy, or even like the majority of people watching and thinking about movies here in 2022. It's also very stressful, the fact that we know that a lot of voters just don't even see films, and that, you know, you have people voting on topics that they don't know anything about, right? So like this best visual effects is probably a great example to start from. Usually I start with the sound design, because, you know, I'm a sound designer and I'm always pissed off with the sound design selections, although there's no war film this year, so this will be a fun little like toss up. But it's, you know, it's what happens with animated films, and what happens, they don't know what they're judging, so they just say that had a lot of cool flashy things happening
when they vote for the winner.
Yeah, and it's also like, so with this best visual effects, right, I imagine that it's okay, well, they complain that we never give any nominations to the Marvel films, so like let's throw them a bone. And like that's the kind of shit that like makes the Oscars fucking stupid.
And this is Spider-Man's only nomination, so I feel like it was definitely it has to get nominated somewhere, like,
it does not.
People will get a riot, you know, like they'll get mad.
They don't. It doesn't. First of all, I liked Spider-Man No Way Home. I didn't think it was an incredible piece of film. But that being said, here is the positive thing about the Oscars, and why we still have to give a shit about the Oscars, is that the Oscars gives so much to the films that they nominate. So, you know, Moonlight got an incredible amount of reach. A24 is making films now because we made some kick-ass films that got Oscar nominated, that people went out and saw. Like, the amount of money that the Oscars end up bringing to the films that they nominate is significant, especially for smaller films and international films. So that's part of why people get so upset when we're like, let's nominate Steven Spielberg again. Like, he doesn't need the help. West Side fucking Story, well, actually, it does need the help, because
it needed the help, but it got $100 million budget to begin with. So that was Disney's fault. They'll be fine.
But so that is why we care about the Oscars, even though it is stupid, and the people who vote and decide on the Oscars are stupid, and the system itself is kind of stupid, because, you know, it's we'll talk about this with with Encanto and their original song nomination. The entire system is dumb.
Stupid.
It is important still because of what it gives to
exposure, especially when you look at the like small shorts, the documentary shorts, the animated shorts, the live action. Nobody would know about most all of those films, and those filmmakers are able to kind of branch into bigger things because they can be like, I'm an Oscar winner and I'm an Oscar nominated, you know, short film. Look at this, you know. Otherwise, nobody's watching short films unless it's in front of a Disney or Pixar movie, you know. So that's a huge part. Visual effects, I also think Suicide Squad was more visually
visual effects
oppressive than both of the Marvel movies. The only one I think unilaterally should be here was never in question is Dune. I mean, Dune visual effects are, I mean, they're amazing, and they're seamless. Like I don't think anybody's arguing Dune. I honestly wouldn't argue with No Time to Die really at all either. It's a much more practical effects, which I love. And so we're getting those and just kind of, touching out the wire or touching, stuff like that. I think it's great. So the category I didn't love, it's particularly Free Guy. I'm sorry, Free Guy. I enjoyed the film well enough. I don't think the effects themselves were actually impressive as much as they were just video game on the screen. All right, so next up we have Best Production Design. So sets. We have Dune, once again, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Have you only seen one of these so far, Ren?
Yeah. Dune was the only one, and I haven't watched Nightmare Alley yet, even though we're going to do a podcast about it next.
So I have seen all of these. I mean, I think it's a pretty solid list. Nightmare Alley.
I was going to say, I don't think I need to have actually seen these to have a sense of their production design, because you can grab that from trailers.
Part of me, The Power of the Dog is probably the weak one. They just really loved that film. I mean, the production designs and the sets. I mean,
what about West Side Story? Was the production design?
Yeah, I mean, it was like pretty much all shot on a freaking stage. So they built out all of those sets, and they looked great. I thought that was great. Macbeth, I thought the production was great.
You can just tell from the trailers again. I have not seen it, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah, Tragedy of Macbeth is beautiful. The production design. I don't have really a big problem with this category. I don't think.
Great. Next category.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. You're a set design type of person. The only one I would maybe have wanted to see get in again would have been The Green Knight or The French Dispatch. Even though I didn't love the film, French Dispatch, the sets are
Wes Anderson is always creating an incredible production design and very infrequently is getting acknowledged for. So, I mean, the other thing I would like to point out, it's not just set design. Yes. It's like all those little pieces, even like how the costumes kind of fit into your world is all part of your production design. You actually also should have gotten a nomination. I mean, like it's all, there's only so many you can fit. Last Night in Soho, incredible production design. That was a gorgeous film. We're
gonna mention a couple of films, a couple times, I presume, that just got snubbed all the way. Like they got completely locked out of the whole Oscars, unfortunately.
Yeah, but like based on trailers, I would say that the production design of Last Night in Soho was better than West Side Story or The Power of the Dog.
Yeah. Power Dog is available on Netflix. I know Ren has easy access for that one. It's a must watch at this point, Ren. It's the most nominated film.
I know. Now I have to watch it. I was actually, the first text message I sent to Larry after I got the list was, God damn it, now I have to watch stupid West Side Story. I'm a theater person.
That West Side Story. All right. Well, our next category is Best International Feature. So we have any of these. We have Japan's Drive My Car, Denmark's Flea, Italy's The Hand of God, Bhutan's Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom, and Norway's The Worst Person in the World. So I've seen two. The Hand of God is also on Netflix. I think I'm going to try to check it out soon. I have never heard of A Yak in the Classroom. So, and I don't know. That's cool. I feel like Bhutan is not a name that gets nominated. So, you know what?
I would wager 80% of Americans would not know that was a country if you threw it out at them.
So I think that's really cool to get a new country in the mix, because we're used to seeing, particularly it's Korea recently is dominated, but China, Korea, Japan will get stuff in here. Italy always is a big player. France, Mexico. Yeah.
That's their Hollywood.
I'm glad to see Flea. Flea actually made a little bit of history for an animated film with its triple nomination this morning, but I really enjoyed Flea. Worst Person in the World, I think, is a little overhyped, but that's just me. And we have to see Drive My Car. It's the big international feature of the year. Thing. So we'll report back after we've watched Drive My Car together soon. All right, next up, Best Cinematography.
Okay, just why is not Green Knight on the list? Stupid fucking West Side Story. I'm going to say it like 12 times.
The Green Knight legit had the best cinematography I saw in any film.
Yeah,
Any of the
it was
140 plus films I saw last year.
Beautiful. You know what? This is another problem with the Oscars. We're just going to throw it out there on our list of problems. They have recency bias. So the fact that Green Knight came out early in the year means that they completely fucking forgot about it by the time the actual like nominating process came around. And oh shit, we forgot how much prettier this was than stupid West Side Story.
And all of these came out after.
Yeah.
After the Green Knight.
All of these came out, right? Dune is the oldest on the list, right? Dune came out the longest ago.
Honestly, like I would have liked to see Spencer get in here too, but they got one nomination for Spencer, which I was very happy about because I thought she was going to get robbed, so I was happy. But so Dune was a given. I knew it was in. Nightmare Alley, I thought could get in. I thought it was on that cusp though, but they liked Nightmare Alley a little more than I thought. Power of the Dog, I knew they just loved it. I knew it was going to get in. Tragedy Macbeth, thank goodness. I have to say, I enjoy Belfast, y'all. But thank goodness Belfast did not get in here because that cinematography did not deserve a nomination.
But it was black and white.
The only black and white film that should have been anywhere near consideration was the Tragedy of Macbeth. So if one's going to get in, I'm glad it was
that's
this one.
Good, right? Like that's the sort of thing, again, that we're going to complain about is that if you do something mildly interesting that is like a little bit different, they're like, oh, it's black and white. It's so hard to shoot in black and white. It's not. I mean, it's different, but that doesn't.
And it's not anymore. Good. It feels like so often Hollywood over the past like decade has really started making a crutch out of black and white cinematography to get this nomination or to get the awards or to get the prestige. So it's when it serves the purpose of your film, I like it. I like black and white. It looks cool. It's fun. But if it's just there and you're kind of like, what's the point of this? Then don't just shoot it normal. That's also why I don't understand these like re-releases of the black and white cuts of so many films they do now. Like, it looked better in color. I'm sorry.
Why? Why would I want to watch the uncolored version? Somebody spent a lot of time and thought on what the colors were going to look like together. Why would I want to watch?
I was like, I mean, I guess it's kind of fun. Like, yeah, what did Justice League? Zack Snyder's Justice League did not need a black and white cut earlier this year. There's no point. Like, but yeah, this category.
What a money grab. That's what that bucket is.
This category
grab for the fanboys.
The cinematographers should be ashamed for not nominating the Green Knight. That's my takeaway. Honestly, I would have taken any of the 5 away to put the Green Knight in here because it was the best and it deserved to be nominated. All right. Another hot topic, Ren.
It's our favorite. This is my favorite.
Best original song.
Okay, the funniest thing of the entire Oscars. Let's explain. First of all, Disney had to guess which song from Encanto they should put forward for an Oscar, because that's how this works. Is that so? This is part of why, like,
and they can put more than one.
Yeah, and it's going to be part of why the Green Knight didn't get as many nominations as A24 is a smaller company, and maybe they just didn't put a bunch of money and focus and time into trying to get those Oscar nominations for the film. But Disney with Encanto was like, we got to decide which one we think is going to be the big one, and which one did they pick? Dos Oruguitas. I don't even know what song that is.
It's the ballad.
Pick it out. It's the ballad.
It's the ballad when the abuela's story is unfolding near the end of the film.
Got it. Why? Okay, first of all, that was a bad choice. What? That's never anybody's favorite. I guess if you're going by like Beauty and the Beast standards and you're like Tale as Old as Time, right? That was the big one. But also,
it's like they're stuck in the 90s with Beauty and the Beast. Is they bank on the ballads because that's what worked for them for so long. A Whole New World, Beauty and the Beast, Can You Feel the Love Tonight won them an Oscar.
Tells me they don't know who they have fucking writing music for them, because Lin-Manuel Miranda is a very gifted writer, but you know what are his jams? Not the fucking ballads. The thing that you're getting with Lin-Manuel Miranda is something you're going to dance to and shake your little shoulders to. And why on earth they were like, yes, his ballad, that's his opus. No.
And
And
honestly, if they were like, they could have even gone with Surface Pressure, the song sung by Louisa. It's a top 10 hit,
yes,
so it's very popular. And the lyrics are deeper, like it's about
yes,
something more. So if
yes.
they wanted like a lyrical song, go with that. If you want just the pure, what everybody in the world has heard and what they will vote for, because everybody seems to love it, seeing as it's spent 2 weeks at #1 on Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah.
You pick it. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah.
I'm also baffled. Disney is doing this recently as well, where they're only putting up one song from their musical for consideration. And I think they're trying not to cannibalize their films or like split votes. It,
I
I
don't think
think
they have to. It's still
no.
Disney.
With
They
their
should just
songs are
put
so
both of them up,
popular,
and then people will pick the one that ended up being the most popular.
or both. Disney
Or
has
both.
gotten multiple nominations in the best song category many times throughout history. And I honestly think, at least with the popularity that this soundtrack is like taken off with, it's like the biggest thing in Disney's history.
Larry, I have a question, and maybe you have an answer because Patrick asked me today.
Yes.
Because he wasn't sure. He thought he was like, so who puts in the nominations? Is it like the producer? Is it like the director,
That,
production? And I was like, I think that's a totally separate
yeah.
department.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I'm not positive on what.
Great question, because
Yeah, it
whoever is
is.
in charge of that department did a bad job at Disney this
Yeah.
year.
Encanto should have had, at least they should have submitted like 3 songs and been
Yeah.
like, here you go. And let's see what happens. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they like this somehow you do from 4 Good Days. Nobody knows what the hell that is.
Nope.
No one. How I don't even know how Diane Warren is like the Oscar whisperer. She finds ways to get her like mediocre music in every year. And here she is again. Be Alive, I figured would get in. It's Beyonce.
Yes.
From King Richard.
Of course, the
Bond.
James Bond song, because it always gets nominated because
Even though it came out in 2020 before it got delayed, she released a whole music video and everything for it the year prior.
So I guess it only counts if once it's accompanied by the film itself.
I guess so. I'm pretty sure it counted last year for the Oscars, but I'm not positive, or the Grammys, but not the Oscars. It's very weird. That one is very weird. I also think it's an underwhelming Bond song. Sorry.
Whatever, it's a Bond song. Let's give it an Oscar nom.
And then Down to Joy is okay. Van Morrison, they had the whole Van Morrison connection with Belfast and Ireland and all that fun jazz. I'm a little bit sad that the Harder They Fall song by Jay-Z didn't get in here. They went couples all up and down this ballot. I wanted a Beyonce and Jay-Z double nomination.
Power couples. Triple power couple.
I honestly do, though. I feel like if it was We Don't Talk About Bruno, this would be a lock for a win. I feel like Disney.
Now I'm like, I have no idea which one's going to win.
Lin-Manuel Miranda would have that EGOT in hand by March. Now, I think it's going to be hard to overcome the Bond song, even though I think it's mid. It's been winning, and I think Billie Eilish is about to get a freaking Oscar.
Stupid Disney robbing him of his EGOT.
Disney. He had it, and with the year he had, he deserved a damn Oscar this year. And he's not gonna get it. All right, best documentary shorts. I haven't watched.
I was just skip it because we haven't seen any of them. Sorry.
Best documentary feature.
I haven't seen any of these. You've seen Flea though, right?
I've seen Flea, and
animated.
Flea is animated. So it got into animation, it got into documentary, and it got into foreign film, all 3 categories. That's why it made like a history mark. I guessed 4 out of these 5 would make it. I know some people are really upset though that The Rescue was left off because it was a really good documentary that people loved. Summer of Soul has been a big player. I loved Flea, so I'll be secretly cheering for Flea because I don't think it's going to win foreign, and I don't think it's going to win animated. So I would like to see it win for documentary, but that's just me. Also, it kind of breaks ground on like animation as a storytelling device.
Yeah, I'm curious.
If it's seen as something more than just, animated kids movie. Cool. All right. Next up, we have Best Animated Feature. So once again, Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon. this was the five that most people were guessing were going to get in, and
Yeah.
for once, the Academy just went with the five.
So I think Encanto is going to win, but it makes me sad because The Mitchells versus the Machines is better.
I agree. The Mitchells vs. Machines is easily my favorite film on this list. I wish I'm just honestly, I'm happy it got nominated. I was scared they were going to Lego movie it and snub it, so I'm happy.
So the animated feature category is one of the most frustrating because we know for a fact now that many of the voters do not watch the animated film because they don't, basically it's not worth their time.
Yeah.
So they ask their children which one they liked the best. Or they just say the Pixar
I've seen this one. My kid watched this one. I saw it on. We'll go with that.
Yeah. So the nomination is helpful at its core, but like, you know, this is what it's always going to come down to is I love Laika and it deserves to win every year it puts out a movie, and it doesn't because they don't have enough name recognition to have blind voters who don't actually watch the movies pick their movie. It's a damn shame.
I think, what you just said though is pretty much why Encanto is going to win. I think it just got that huge momentum push right as the Oscar voting was going on. Everyone's going to have seen it. All the parents, I mean, is probably playing in their house nonstop on Disney Plus. Luca, I do think was popular. I've never felt that buzz around Luca as a Pixar film, even through award season.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to take it. Raya, again, we talked about bias towards recent films anyway. So that came out in March. I almost thought it might get left off because it came out so dang long ago. And then Flea, that's the other thing. The distribution on Flea was a little bit wonky, was very difficult to get a hold of. So
I've never even heard of it until today.
I don't think it will win, but I think the nomination is a win for Flea. So yay, animated films, and go Mitchells. We're still rooting for you, even if I think it's an uphill battle. All right, best makeup and hairstyling, a category near and dear to Ren's heart as the next makeup artist.
Okay, so I'm glad that Cruella is in there because I think it's incredible. I think they did an awesome job. I'm actually really happy about The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I think they did a really good job in that film as well. I have not seen The House of Gucci. The makeup and hairstyling the makeup in Dune is okay. It's not like crazy impressive. Really, the costumes make the aesthetic a lot more, in my opinion. I wasn't like wowed by the makeup of Dune. I think I haven't seen Coming to America, but I think everybody finds that one to be the biggest head tilt.
Listen, no, I will fight people because that was one I was championing because I didn't like the film very much at all. But the makeup and the hair designs, particularly because they throw these like balls and stuff, it actually should have gotten in for costume design if you ask me too. Because just visual, I mean, the hair was amazing specifically. That's why I always find it kind of difficult. Like, I know they go together, but what if a film does like this amazing hair work and the amazing hair work and the makeup is nothing, or this amazing intricate makeup and there's no hair, so I know it's weird to separate them, but also you're like, how do they vote on both? In one
movie that I think might have been The Suicide Squad had really good makeup and hairstyling, and so that one is a little bit of a nubby one.
I'm so glad that being the Ricardos did not get in here. Oh my god, that makeup work. I'm sorry to the people.
Nicole Kidman looks weird.
Terrible. I'm sorry.
Make her look more like Lucille Ball. It just made her look less like Nicole Kidman.
So if you look like with Tammy Faye next to Nicole Kidman, like Jessica Chastain and Nicole, Tammy Faye was much more effectively transformative, whereas it was almost like Uncanny Valley what they did to Nicole Kidman. It was very strange. House of Gucci. I mean,
Nicole Kidman looked like she had bad plastic surgery.
Yeah, it was really weird. I'm actually not too mad about this. Like you said, Dune, I think, just benefited from those costumes. I think because it was a lot of head wrap stuff too.
Yes.
Maybe from the Harkonnens and such, because they were like white with like the kind of maybe some of the background weird creatures. But honestly,
I'll be honest with you, it's not that hard to make somebody pale.
I like Stellan Skarsgård's like weird fat suit, like makeup stuff.
You know,
that's kind of where I'm thinking they went more than like, you know, Cruella is like,
I am hoping that Cruella wins because I think the makeup and the hairstyling.
Honestly, if it doesn't win the other one, we'll talk about I Riot. So there we go. All right. Next up, we have Best Film Editing, and we have Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, and Tick Tick Boom. You've seen Don't Look Up, right?
I have. This is always a weird category because it's another one of those like, how are they judging this?
Well, when it came to Don't Look Up, they judged by we see sloppy editing, left, right, and center. Let's nominate it.
Yeah, that's because there was a lot of it. Again, like
there was a lot
quantity versus like quality, and
it's literally Bohemian Rhapsody all over again. Like when Bohemian Rhapsody won for that terrible editing job that they did on that film.
To me, this just seems like nonsense. All of them just seem like we liked this movie, so we nominated it in a category we don't really know. Yeah, sure. Dune, yeah, definitely. Like I don't think the film editing in Dune was bad, but it wasn't like, oh, this is incredible. This is so well done. You know what? I honestly think a best film editing, this would be a great category for them to start putting those horror films that they snub constantly, right? Like again, honestly, Last Night in Soho,
it should be here.
Film editing.
The editing is amazing in Last Night in Soho. So this is a perfect end. I actually am happy to see Tick Tick Boom get in here because I thought it had really interesting editing. It wasn't over the top. I thought it really added to the story, like kind of like weird. You know, it wasn't just.
But you know what? In the Heights would have been another one that might have made more sense for best film editing.
Like Power of the Dog, and I know they like to do this too. See, they go for the extremes. They go for Don't Look Up, and then they go for Power of the Dog, where it's just like very minimal.
No edits.
Like as little editing as possible. And you're like, okay. I mean, should we not just give that to Best Director? Because they directed the film so well that you didn't have to chop the hell out of it to make it okay? I don't know. It's choices, I guess. It's choices. But moving along, we have Best Live Action Short. I've seen none of them.
Nor have I. Same thing with Best Animated Short. But I would love to go see one of their little compilations when they put them out.
I will be viewing the compilations 100%. Best Animated Short, though, the one thing I want to say is I'm actually a little bit sad that they left off the Disney short Us Again that played in front of Raya and the Last Dragon. It was really beautifully animated. It was a really beautiful, inventive story. And it's from Disney, so I'm shocked it got snubbed, but I am sad it got snubbed as well because it definitely deserved to be here. I don't even care what the other ones are. It was so good. I just know it deserved to be here. All right. Best Original Screenplay, Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World.
I've only seen 2 of these.
I mean, this category pretty much went as expected, except The Worst Person in the World was a shock. But I know people love it, so I wasn't. I was only somewhat shocked on that. Again, thank God, being the Ricardos, didn't get in for original screenplay.
Don't Look Up is. I guess if there was a category that Don't Look Up made sense, it would probably be this one.
I have to say, at this point, there's 2 people. They didn't do it, thank God. And it's becoming that way with Adam McKay. If Adam McKay gives you a satire, you're like, yes, give it all the awards. Nominated for everything.
Yeah.
Without anything.
This is the problem with the Oscars. Again, you have any sort of like any stuff. They're humans, right? There's still these people who are voting and they have their biases. And so obviously a vast majority of Hollywood are these very liberal types. And they're also like kind of elitist. And they're like, oh, we love it. It's so clever and high-minded. Let's give it Best Original Screenplay. Let's nominate it for Best Picture. So
Well, then we get
thing.
adapted screenplay. Once again, I'll just harp on it one more time. The Green Knight should have been more in contention for adapted screenplay. As should have The Tragedy of Macbeth, but I'll just leave that there. We got Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog.
I'm happy to see two lady writers in the mix there. That's nice.
There's actually
Maggie
three.
Gyllenhaal, killing it.
The writer of Coda is female as well.
Oh, great. I'm not from that country, so that is a non-gendered name as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so I mean that's the cool thing, right? We got 3 out of 5 female nominees in adapted screenplay
for women writers.
Yeah, then a foreign film in here with.
Sorry, real quick, I do have to say, Dune had an excellent best adaptation. The fact that you took one of the most nerded out about the books in history and didn't piss off the fans, that alone, I feel like they should win just based on that.
And on that, all the people who were like super bored by the books and went in like, oh god, came out like, wait, okay, that was better.
Makes more sense now.
Okay, that was okay. I understood it a little bit more than any other time. So yeah,
it's a hard, weird movie. Yeah, I think it deserves the win.
All right. So moving along, we have Best Original Score. We have Don't Look Up, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, and The Power of the Dog.
Dune should take it. Obviously,
actually just
them always wins.
Yeah.
But
I just saw Parallel Mothers tonight before we recorded this. The score was actually really good. So seeing it, I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad you got in. But this is Dune's to lose, right? Like I don't know. Come on.
It's Hans's to lose.
It's Hans's to lose. All right. Best sound. We have Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story.
Okay, so first of all, best sound used to be separated into 2 different categories, right? It was like best sound editing and best sound design.
Yes? Best sound editing and best sound mixing.
Sound mixing, which is, I agree, is kind of stupid because those are roughly the same thing.
Every year we would have these articles coming out explaining to people what is the difference between sound editing and sound mixing on a film.
If
we're gonna lump costume and hair together, we can lump sound editing and sound mixing.
Totally. I'm a sound designer and I can tell you that's fine. Now, this is always the category that I am the most aggravated about. Okay, so part of the problem with this is that it seems like it's some combination of like, I'm glad they didn't nominate Encanto, but like sometimes it's like, oh, let's nominate this because first, usually if there is a big war movie that year, they always nominate for best sound. It's because they think explosions are hard. And like they can be, like it is kind of hard to do explosions that sound good and right, but also like they've had like hundreds of years to figure it out. Not hundreds of years, decades and decades to figure out how to make war sounds sound good. And it's not like they're brand new fucking explosion sounds, just so you know. They have like libraries full of these sounds and then they just like mix them and add them again and again. Anyways, really, I think the art of sound design comes down to a lot more like how it fits into the film. And so I think Dune has a good score. I don't know. I guess it has decent sound. It's the only one on this list that I've like actually seen. But obviously No Time to Die is on there because there's guns and shit. And that's it's why it got nominated.
No Time to Die kind of took the war spot, I feel. Yeah. The guns, the explosion, the cars, all of those different sounds being edited.
I haven't seen West Side Story. I can't imagine the sound is some incredible thing.
It's the musical. So that's it. It's always a war and the musical. Come together for sound design.
Why not In the Heights? Once again, West Side Story came out more recently. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. That's why.
Power of the Dog also was a lot. It's very dialogue heavy for a sound nominee. Actually, The Power of the Dog. I mean, they have gunshots again because it's a Western, and Belfast. I don't know. Again, Last Night in Soho should have been here.
This is another category where the horror films they refuse to even acknowledge exist in the Oscar nomination process should be getting recognized because sound is so incredibly effective in horror films. Honestly, even the sound in Stupid Bad Old is probably better and like more creative and like creates emotional reactions in
Yeah.
people than what's going on in most of these films. Like there's a difference between sound and like score, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason they have two separate things, but I think they just kind of get lumped together in people's brains. And
Yeah.
Baby
And
Driver should have won Best Sound, and the fact that Baby Driver didn't win Best Sound the year that it was nominated is proof that they don't know what they're talking about.
It's an interesting thing. Like that's part of the reason I think Christopher Nolan is always nominated in the sound category, even though I don't think he does sound design very well. It's because he's made this conscious decision to move the dialogue to the back of his sound mixes. So you can't hear the dialogue. Instead, he's having you hear the score and the explosions over the top of the dialogue. And it's a very strange decision by him. But yet he gets nominated all the time. And you're like, this is not effective. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's a shame that neither A Quiet Place or A Quiet Place Part 2 got nominations in the sound categories, seeing as those films literally are predicated on the use of sound.
It's because they're horror films, because as soon as it's a horror film, we don't care about it. Now, again, going back to the production company has to put in money to get it nominated, which is part of the problem with the whole fucking process, is horror companies notoriously do not usually put a giant budget into their horror films. There are very few super high budget horror movies out there. And so that maybe, and there's also probably something to the fact that they're like, why bother putting any money into this when the Academy refuses to acknowledge any horror films, even if they are clearly fucking art. So yeah, categories where horror should absolutely be being acknowledged are sound and production design,
and acting,
and
but
makeup,
the one that they try hard every year is that to get an actor in, and the Academy refuses. Like that's one thing. They put huge campaigns behind Toni Collette and Lupita Nyong'o, like back to back. They pushed hard for those two women, and all of the critics awards gave it to them because they're like, these are amazing performances, and the Academy just didn't even nominate it, pretend they didn't exist, and moved on.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But yes, horror, yeah, makeup, like come on, the horror genre is built. Most of the like amazing makeup we have today comes thanks to the horror genre experimenting.
Incredible fucking makeup that's a horror films. Candyman. That was incredible makeup. Actually, that had great like production design too. Like all the shadow things and all that. That's anyways.
Anyways, never mind. All right. So another technical aspect, we have best costume design. Cruella,
obviously, win it. Actually, Dune is also really good. I want Cruella to win it.
I'm pretty satisfied. If West Side Story is getting in, I don't mind it getting in for costume design. I thought the costumes were very good. Nightmare Alley, costumes look great. Dune, costumes are great. Cruella, amazing. And then Cyrano, I haven't watched because for whatever reason they're not releasing it till the end of February.
You cannot. I guess if you have a limited enough run in LA or New York,
they released it in LA and New York on like Christmas Day, and then took it back out of theaters.
Their nominations,
so they could, but they shot themselves in the foot because this is its only nomination. So didn't really work for them. But from the trailers, the costumes look like good period piece costumes.
That's another one of those things. Like frequently, if you do a period piece, your film's gonna get nominated.
And that's why I love,
even if they're not good, there's entire videos about how bad the costumes are for Little Women, and yet it still got nominated.
That's why I'm a partial to Cruella and Dune, because they're different. Original. Like Cruella is pushing the envelope, it's mixing old, it's just a lot of different styles added in, and then Dune is giving us like worldly stuff intermixed with this like galactical feel. It's really what.
And there's something about, I will say with Dune, what's incredible is the way that the costumes, like in the wind and the way the stuff moves, is just really good. But I still think Cruella should win just for sheer like. I mean, it was incredible.
Fashion.
It was.
As soon as she pulled away with that damn trash dress pulling behind her, I was like, give it costumes now. I don't need to see anything else. Dune, you're second place. Cruella, I want you to win. But also those suits, though. That's the other thing with Dune is those are all practical. Like they built
Yes.
those weird suits that they had to move. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
it definitely deserves this nomination.
Although I will always point out how silly it is that they're like, we have these suits and they contain all of your liquid so that you can't lose any. And then they all walk around outside with their mouths open and their eyes open and they're not covered. I understand you have to see the actor's face.
Pretty actors, Ren. Why are we hiring these pretty people if we're not going to show them?
I don't know. Maybe you could cut a half an hour out of your film by not just spending a bunch of time on all the time they spend walking across the desert.
The reaction shots of Zendaya. But anyways, best supporting actor. Which ones have you seen? Being the Ricardos. My God,
I have seen Being the Ricardos. J.K. Simmons was very good.
He was fine. I don't know. I'm so jaded. I would have rather seen Robin De Jesus from Tick Tick Boom in here. I would have rather.
He was very good.
It's really good. I would have rather seen even Jamie Dornan from freaking Belfast to give that a double nomination. And if we're just going by like entertaining type of, I would have rather seen John Bernthal from King Richard get in.
So we've come to Being the Ricardo. So here's the next crutch of the Oscar nomination cohort. They are Hollywood elites. They are snubs, and goddamn, do they love thinking about themselves. So if you want an Oscar nomination, just make a movie about Hollywood and you're fucking guaranteed to have those people creaming their pants all over your stupid film. Case and point, La La Land.
Oh, this year,
The Artist. I'm sorry, The Artist was good, but also The Artist was not like as incredible as everybody made it out to be. Does anybody even remember that movie?
It shouldn't have won Best Picture. I'm sorry. It was good. I liked The Artist. I did not think it deserved a Best Picture.
I am a theater film nerd. I am all about the history of film. I fucking love this shit. But that doesn't make, just because I like it and it pokes all of my little like nerd, I love it because it's inside information that I understand and know all about. I can understand the difference between that and like, is this a good piece of film? Is this actually good?
Last year, Mank with all those damn nominations. And this year, Licorice Pizza and freaking Being the Ricardos ticked off that box. So there you go.
And I heard Licorice Pizza was good. I didn't see that one.
Well, not to me. I hate
not to Larry. Oh, hot take.
Yeah, no, I was not a fan. I'm glad it got like shut out with these acting categories actually, because same thing with West Side Story. It got the one, and she's the only one I would allow. So I'm glad little Rachel Zegler, keep your ass at home, girl. You wasn't welcomed. But for this, I think Ciarán Hinds was great in Belfast. I think Troy Kotsur was great. He's also the first deaf male nominee at the Oscars history, so that's fun. Cody Smith-McPhee was good. Jesse Plemons was all right. I don't know. People overhype him a little bit too, in my opinion. But it's a weird category. It's like I think it's between. I mean, it's probably between Troy Kotsur and Cody Smith-McPhee, I would say, but we'll see. So supporting
J.K. Simmons won an Oscar yet?
Yeah, he won for Whiplash, which
great.
Amazing.
I was going to say if he hadn't won one yet, then
he'd be
So that's the other, problem number 24 with the Oscars. There's this weird thing that they do where they give people awards for movies they weren't really that impressive or great in because it's time, because they nominated them a bunch of times before and didn't give them an Oscar, or they've just been working a really long time and we all know they're a very good actor, but they hadn't gotten one yet. Now, the anomaly in this fucking piece is Glenn Close.
They just, for whatever reason, refuse.
We don't know. I think it's one of those like we want to actually give her one for some. She's so good. We're not going to pull this bullshit on Glenn Close or something. But the case in point is Laura Dern, who won her Oscar for Stupid Marriage Story. I liked Marriage Story. I was going through a divorce at the time. I thought it was a very wonderful, accurate, depiction. She was not Laura Dern at the top of her game, and even she even was better in Little Women that came out the same year.
I would have accepted her win more if it were for Little Women than that. Yes. I just can't.
So, anyways,
that
was my point with J.K. Simmons is if he has won already, yes, but he is one of those people that's been around for a long time. And if he hadn't already won for something, he would have been a lot harder to beat in that category.
Well, we'll
Next category,
So supporting actress, Jessie Buckley, Ariana DeBose, Judi Dench, Kristen Dunst, and Ingenue Ellis. Wait, did you see King Richard, Rin?
I
Or
did.
no?
I did see
Okay.
King Richard.
So
Ingenue Ellis
that's
was
your
very
one.
good.
She was very good. I'm so glad. I was getting a little bit shaky that she was on shaky ground, so I'm very glad that she made it in because she was great. She like stole the show every time she was on screen.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that Judi Dench got in. Because
She's Judi
Katrina,
Dench.
I know, but Katrina Balfe was the one from Belfast that was getting all the hype, all the praise. I actually thought Judi Dench was a little bit better though, so I'm not mad that she beat her out.
But Judi Dench
However,
wins all the time.
Ruth Negga should have been in here. Jessie Buckley was good, but I would have thrown her out and replaced her with Ruth because she was amazing. And we were so close, Ren, to making history. If Ruth Negga had gotten in, this would have been the first time we had a majority POC category. So close with Ingenue and Ariana. Ariana DeBose, she was the one performance from West Side Story I was willing to accept to get nominated. She did. She also has the best part in West Side Story, Anita. So I mean, that role has already won an Oscar for Rita Moreno. So
who has won an EGOT? Yes.
Yes.
Rita Moreno.
So that role
Legend
just gets you the Oscars, and we'll see on this one.
Maybe. Right. I hate that. I hate the idea that anybody involved in this film is getting some like second-hand boost off of the success of the first film.
They're winning the same awards that the film already had
won.
The
whole point of why people are like, what the fuck? Why did this need to be remade? Because they just remade it. It's not even a requel. They didn't even do anything to really update it that much for 2022 that made it necessary for this time and age. Much as they like to say they did. Sorry,
they took out some of the explicit racism and actually cast brown folks rather than just paint people's faces. That was their update.
Sure. But honestly, the original one had a lot of brown people. The original did have a lot of brown people.
Not the front ones.
Just Rita Moreno. Just kidding. I don't need to defend the racism of old Hollywood.
Red's like, wait, let me stop real quick. Actually, let me pull it back. They did very little to update it. I'm just gonna say that. But best actor, all right, Ren, this might be your most seen category.
It is my most seen category.
In the Ricardos.
Okay, first of all,
and King Richard.
Stupid being the Ricardos. I didn't hate being the Ricardos. I was shocked to see so many nominations for being the Ricardos for what it was. None of it. Okay. This was even more ridiculous about it is I'm a Hollywood nerd. I'm a fucking old movies nerd. I love Lucille Ball. I love Desi Arnaz. These two actors did not do a good job of playing these people. I did not buy them as these people in real life at all. So it seems very strange that we're rewarding them for portraying characters that we have a reference for poorly. Anyways, so Javier Bardem is
horrible. That's a horrible nomination, in my opinion. Like, I expected it to come, but Nicolas Cage was right there for Pig, or even, I haven't seen it, but Peter Dinklage was right there. Like, he had a big group of champions wanting him in. I would have even accepted Leonardo DiCaprio again from Don't Look Up before I accepted freaking Javier Bardem.
I think that was actually one of Leonardo DiCaprio's, like, it was the furthest away. It was one of his most acty roles. Like,
yeah.
And Don't Look Up, he's actually different from normal Leonardo DiCaprio. He's this like dumpy old professor and who's
so
like
much better than Javier Bardem.
And he was,
I'm glad Andrew got in. I'm glad Andrew
yes, I'm very glad. I hope he wins it, to be honest. I think it was like a killer performance. And a lot of people
thinking Will Smith is getting that treatment we talked about earlier. This is his, I think, third nomination. He's been in the business for a long time. I think people are really feeling like Will Smith is getting the let's give it to Will finally treatment this award season.
I mean, he was really good.
He definitely deserves the nomination.
Yes. But I just love Andrew Garfield so much. I think I'm fully biased on this. I think I'm fully biased. I loved Andrew Garfield. I identified so hard with his character in that film. So it was like, you feel it just like I do. So like I cannot relate to Will Smith's character in the same way.
This honestly, this category, I'm pretty if they dare give it to Javier, that will be the only way I'm outright furious, because I do think Benedict Cumberbatch was actually quite good in The Power of the Dogs. Denzel is always amazing, and seeing him like eat up like Macbeth is, it's just great to watch. And then Andrew and Will probably gave two of, their best performances of their whole careers as well. They were both great. So I think this is a great category, except Javier. Yeah. Which I can almost say for the next one too, for Best Actress.
This one is equally my most seen category.
Okay.
3 out of the 5.
Wait, did you see Spencer?
No, I did not. I saw The Eyes of Tana Fey, The Lost Daughter, and
you saw The Lost Daughter.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you hadn't seen The Lost Daughter yet, but okay.
I did. I watched The Lost Daughter. Yeah. So I was actually going to say in Best Supporting Actress, I did think Jessie Buckley was really good in The Lost Daughter. I mean, the thing with that film is it is just an acting film. Like, it is very pretty. Like, in terms, like, I mean, I'm down to watch any movie that takes place in a beautiful European like setting.
Yeah.
And
Jessie Buckley, to her credit, has also been putting in a lot of really good performances over the past several years that have just gone like not even made a splash. So it is nice to see her get a role that she kills yet again and get some recognition. But Olivia Colman is obviously always great. Like,
Olivia Colman is great. I love her.
What can we say?
She's had my heart for forever. She's had my heart since Peep Show, which many people have not even seen, not Americans anyways. Highly recommended if you can get your hands on it. I think you can find it on Amazon streaming. Yeah. Super funny. It's like one of the first things that she ever did, and it's hilarious. I highly recommend it. But yeah, she's always good. I'm actually a little bored with it now. I'm like, give it to somebody else. Olivia gets it all the time.
That's also why I'm glad.
Great, we know.
I'm glad that as much as we love her and she was good, I'm glad we didn't get Francis with Tragedy of Macbeth. Denzel wasn't up. He was the highlight part of the film.
Frances McDormand is another one that I'm like bored with. I'm like,
love you, girl.
Stop nominating her and giving her awards. We're good. The other thing is, this is a total side note. Frances McDormand, I don't really feel like she does anything much further away from her like neutral self anymore at all.
Yeah, I mean, Fargo, at least we got something a little different. And I was willing to accept it when it was just like, I think she should have won for one or the other, Nomadland or Three Billboards. Like, she should have won for one or the other. Those two roles shouldn't have both gotten her an Oscar win, in my opinion.
Also all like, you then watch her walk up on stage and be the characters in the movies. Like, it's not like a stretch from her like fundamental humanity. And like, I mean, I think that's, again, I know, like, I don't know how do we judge acting? Do we judge acting based on like, I like this actor, or do we judge acting based on, holy shit, that person clearly put in a lot of work? Jessica fucking Chastain, holy shit, that woman put in work to be Tammy Faye. That,
I just hope,
Miss Sloane to Tammy Faye, like, look at the difference in those two roles. That's how you know Jessica Chastain was like working, that she like really researched that role.
I'm so scared that they're going to be like, oh, over the top. Like, that's the one criticism I hear as backlash to Jessica. And I'm like, look at Tammy Faye. Tammy Faye was top. She had to. If she had done any less, it wouldn't have worked. I promise you.
Now I will say this is rule number 42 about the Oscars. Stupid fucking Oscars. It used to be that if you wanted to win an Oscar, if you wanted to win an Oscar, you could do one of two things. You could play a famous historical figure, or you could play somebody disabled. We don't want to see relatively abled actors playing disabled people anymore. We understand why that's a problem now. So you can't do that anymore. Now you just get in trouble. So now the only option, if you're really, really gunning for that Oscar, is to play a historical figure. And here we have two. So who knows what'll happen? Probably Kristen Stewart will take it. I'm thinking.
We have well, I guess technically we have three people at least. We have Tammy Faye, we have Lucille Ball, and we have Princess Di.
Oh yeah, Lucille Ball too. Jesus,
so we have three different, and when you look at the actors, we have Desi Arnaz.
I'm just like absolutely
Andrew, Will Smith. And then he's not a historical figure, but Macbeth may as well.
May as well.
It's been done so damn much.
Also, Will Smith doesn't. No. They have to be dead. They can't be still alive. They have to be dead. So Will Smith has got that going. That's a little negative.
At least the person he's still kicking. He's still alive.
Yes, doesn't count
this
otherwise.
Category again.
But Nicole Kidman was not good. I love Nicole Kidman. She was not good as Lucille Ball. I did not buy her for a goddamn second. She wasn't funny. That was the core problem with being the Ricardos, is they took the queen of comedy, this incredible, wonderful human being who trailblazed across televisions, across America, and they made her completely kind of mean a little bit and boring and not funny at all. And I just don't like it.
And that's the thing, is people, even if you're trying to argue that that's how she was off camera, they show her on camera, they show her doing this stuff, and she still did not embody Lucille Ball, the Lucy that we saw in front of our own eyes.
Nope.
I would throw her out immediately. Honestly, God, her performance, again, it's not as bad as Javier Bardem. To me, he was a little bit worse. But I mean, it's bad. Like, oh God. Lady Gaga was the huge shock because she's the only actress who had gotten BAFTA, SAG, Critics' Choice, and Golden Globe nominations. None of these other women have gotten all of them.
Wasn't that movie like horribly bad?
I mean, it was, but it was still getting nominated. So we're like, oh,
wasn't like Lady Gaga shot at an EGOT too?
I mean, she campaigned hard as fuck. Like she was
have a Tony?
She doesn't have a Tony. She has an Oscar already because she wrote Shallow. And that one.
Oh yeah. Okay, good.
It has that writing.
She got her Emmy for American Horror Story.
No, she got she got her Grammy, obviously. Several. And then she got
So she just needs to go do something on Broadway, and then
which I'm sure. With the way she campaigned on this damn Oscar trail, she'll be running for that EGOT immediately because she tried hard to get this nomination and I think that turned them off. Maybe she was talking crazy. Like she was like, even when I was eating breakfast, I embodied whatever, I forget her name, Francesca Gucci or whatever.
One of these days, we're going to do a whole episode about method acting and why it's fucking stupid. But for now, let's move on.
I actually really wish Tessa Thompson had gotten in for passing. I thought she was amazing in passing.
I didn't see that film, but from what I heard, it seems shocking that neither of those women
got snubbed, and they both were so good. Don't nominate Nicole Kidman. Come on, and give it to Tessa Thompson.
All right, we're closing in on our final two
director
categories.
Paul Thomas Anderson, Kenneth Branagh, Jane Campion, oh gosh, sorry if I butchered this, Ryosuke Hamaguchi, and Steven Spielberg.
Okay, take Steven Spielberg right off of that fucking list. And why is Denis Villeneuve, who got all these nominations for Dune, otherwise?
Someone was arguing with me on Twitter. I was like, how does it make sense? You literally said this film did all of the things really, really well and apparently directed itself, because we're not going to give credit to the person who directed all of this. Like,
all he did was write an incredible adapted screenplay.
Like, what? How do you? I don't understand. How do you watch Dune and not think that was a very well directed film? I don't get it. Steven Spielberg.
Some people start speculating that they're just holding on to it until part 2 comes out.
And then if he loses part 2, I will slap someone because. Honestly, I would have gotten rid of Paul Thomas Anderson. I don't think Licorice Pizza was particularly all that amazingly directed.
Oh, but everybody just creamed their pants for Paul Thomas
No,
Anderson.
Kenneth Branagh. I think Kenneth Branagh deserved it. I know that people like to they like to turn on Belfast because it's kind of a sweet film, but it was really like a pretty well done love letter to his home and himself.
Oscar roll 242. If you want to win an Oscar, you absolutely should not make a film that makes people feel good.
Yeah, that's usually a death sentence. Unless it's racist, unless it's full of racism or has like racist backstory, and it's called Green Book or Driving Miss Daisy, and is a feel good, and then they'll give it.
Well, you know, the trick always is like poking at that little white liberal button.
Yes, if you make white people feel good,
right? Yeah, that's the trick.
But yeah, I'm shocked to see Drive My Car. I'm very happy it got in. Again, anytime foreign films can kind of break through, even after Parasite, it still is kind of like a fun little okay.
But also, okay, and I'm not saying that I haven't seen it. I have no idea. But also a little part of me is like, are they just doing it because they keep getting yelled at about it? Is that what's going on?
I mean, like, honestly, I don't know if it was directed well enough to give it, but I'm like, we still, after all these years, we still don't have a Black director who has ever won this award, male or female. So even when Moonlight won Best Picture, you all thought the guy who directed La La Land directed his film better.
Maybe we'll luck out and Jane will win for Power of the Dog, and then we'll
a little history was made. She is the first ever female to get 2 nominations in the category. No other woman has been nominated twice. We also made history. We have back-to-back female nominees. We have never had 2 years in a row where a woman got nominated. And if she wins, which
moving up in the world, one out of 5
right now, I think is the leader in like all stats coming in. If she wins, we'll get back-to-back female winners of the category.
So maybe it's a good thing that Denis Villeneuve didn't get nominated because.
Yeah. Speaking of, here we go. Best Picture: Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. The big shock for me was Nightmare Alley getting in. It didn't have a lot of momentum coming in, so I was just.
Man, they love Guillermo del Toro now, though.
How can you not? I mean, just as a person,
I love Guillermo del Toro too.
The most beautiful, soulful, kind person in the world. And I
cannot wait for our Guillermo del Toro episode because I've done a little research on him and I love him even more now.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. But
if it was between Nightmare Alley and Being the Ricardos, thank you, Jesus, for putting Nightmare Alley, because
I haven't watched Nightmare Alley yet, so I'm not.
I already know it's better than that. Just trust me, it's better than that.
But I do think stupid fucking West Side Story shouldn't be on this fucking list.
I think it has a pretty good chance at winning. Is my
Jesus Christ?
Why? It got a lot of it got a lot of the big categories that you need. Director. Why? It got screenplay.
Nobody liked it. I guess no, that's not true.
The film nerdy people loved it. God, and it kills me inside. Did it get editing? No, it did miss film editing. So I think the odds-on favorite right now is The Power of the Dog, because it got all of the nominated categories it needs. If Dune had gotten that director nomination, like it should have, it would have been closer. But we just.
Other thing in this category, I liked Don't Look Up. I don't know why the fuck it is nominated for Best Picture.
It's only, I believe, the second. I think it's only the second or third rotten film on the Rotten Tomatoes score to get a Best Picture nomination. So there's that. It's rotten. It has like a 56% right now.
There's this idea some people have where they're like, if you didn't like Don't Look Up, it's because you didn't get it. And I think that is such a pretentious, stupid take on it, because there's plenty of things to not like about Don't Look Up. It's very long, kind of disjointed, very preachy.
I was like, that's the thing on a film like that. How can you walk out of that film not getting it? I mean, he literally bashes you over the head every couple minutes. He just bashes you again with his messaging. You're like, got it.
I liked Don't Look Up. I thought it was interesting. I think, I always give credit to films that I'm like still thinking about a couple days later. But But yeah, I
We're
never
also
would have pegged it for a best picture nom.
super sad. Tick Tick Boom got a snub here. It had really it had built up momentum again. It had gotten nominated at so many of the award shows previous to this, and it just
It does make me feel good now, though, to feel like I'm not totally crazy and that I didn't just love Tick Tick Boom. Although, you know what? It is
rabid fan base, right?
rabid fan base. Also, it's a fucking show about theater people. It's a movie about theater people. So there's a we can identify as our like most film people started at some point in theater. We've all heard Rent.
Yeah, I don't know. I just would have preferred that in over something like Don't Look Up. I don't know.
Yeah, agreed.
Like,
well, actually, because Tick Tick Boom was actually really well done, and like just reading about how it was put together, I think it actually, honestly, was pretty great as an adapted screenplay. I think it probably should have gotten a nomination there, but what are you gonna do?
There you go. They're just like, no, thank you. So
there was some very good adapted screenplays in there.
There was, and then there was some that I'm like, Also, I don't understand because I thought they worked a little bit more off of Richard Williams' book, but apparently he just like did it off of interviews more and took tidbits from the book. But I was like, King Richard being an original screenplay is a little bit odd to me, but I don't know. That's the other thing. If you adapt or just continue writing your own screenplay, then it's adapted. Like Moonlight was adapted. Like what?
Yeah, sometimes, and that's another problem with the Oscars, is especially in that category, it's just weird what they decide is adapted and what they decide is not.
And it's it's like the whole qualification.
Also weird. I do think
that
what's international and what's not, right? Like for some weird reason, British films are not considered international films.
Yeah, I think so. They changed the name because of that. I think so. It's foreign language film. Just to snuff that out because we were like, what the hell? Shouldn't 1917 be an international film? Like, hello, that's a British production.
Yeah.
Just because they speak English and are white, they are still foreign to the United States of America where you're housed. And also the Hollywood Foreign Press, who we don't really acknowledge until they start bringing in folks and stop bribing people and being shitty. You're literally called the Hollywood Foreign Press. So what constitutes foreign? Or like what?
Great question.
You're supposed to be a global entity. I don't understand. But I mean, that's all the bureaucratic bullshit that goes on with these award shows that makes them infuriating.
Yes.
My biggest happiness was that Kristen Stewart made it in because she was getting snubbed left, right, and center at everything, the BAFTAs, the SAGs, all of them. And I thought for sure she was done. And so when she got her name called this morning, I was so excited.
Okay.
So excited. But I presume we'll be back probably a little bit closer to the Oscars to give maybe our final predictions. We could do like a little contest, a little final predictions with the Snarks.
Yes.
Ren will have to get to work.
You have a lot on this list to watch.
The best pictures. Which ones have you seen, Ren?
I have seen Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard. That's it. And then I'm gonna watch Nightmare Alley probably tomorrow.
Okay, so 3 out of 10.
That's not enough.
Okay, you're usually a little closer, I think.
I'm usually a little closer, except they decided to nominate a bunch of stupid fucking films this year. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about a lot of these films. I do think West Side Story is a stupid fucking movie, but
Power the Dog and Nightmare Alley are at your fingertips.
Great. So. Yes. That's 2 that are at my fingertips.
Yeah.
We're planning to go see Drive My Car. That's good. I think Coda is on Apple.
Oh, Coda is on Apple
TV Plus. So hit that one. So the ones that are going to be tricky are
Licorice
West
Pizza,
Side Story, Licorice Pizza, and Belfast.
Yes, yeah, those 3 are not on like streaming. They're not on Blu-ray and DVD even yet.
And I really don't want to spend money to go see West Side.
And they're also not really playing in much theaters anymore because they're older. They're in that weird spot between
they'll roll back out because of the Oscar nomination. It'll be fine. I'll be able to see it. I'm really excited let's plan to go see all the little animated shorts and live shorts. I'm down.
My favorite thing about Oscar time is like those little packages. So they just package them all together. So I could just go and watch all the short films.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was
We'll let you know what we think.
That was our snarky take on these Oscar nominees.
And the
I hope you
entire
all
Oscar nomination process.
everything, all things
All the
Oscar
bullshit.
nominations today. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the snarky nonsense that was going on here tonight. But we want to hear, what were you excited made it in today, and what were you angry that got the snub, that got the axe? Let us know either in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube, or you can hit both of us up on Twitter. Ran, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ren Manley if you want to scream at me in a void, or you can find me on Instagram at RennyPoo13.
Perfect. And you can find us as a podcast at Cinema Snarks on both Instagram and Twitter. And you can find me at ChiliBoyYT on Twitter and ChiliBoy Productions on YouTube and Instagram. Also, if you like this kind of stuff, give us a little rating, give us a little review. It helps out our podcast. It helps other people to find our ranty nonsense. So we would greatly appreciate it.
Stay tuned for our Guillermo del Toro episode coming up
soon. Oh, yeah, you won't want to miss that. We love us some Guillermo, so we might be a little bit happier on that one. But thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.